broadcasting live 4 days a week worldwide.
From the sunny beaches of Southern California,
this is ExtremeHealthRadio.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Ed Group from Global Healing Center. I hope you tune in and listen to Justin and Kate's Extreme Health Radio. It will transform your life, and you will get all the best health information you need.
We have a special show today, don't we, Kate?
we do.
Yeah, this is just kind of a fly-by-the-seat of our pants show, but we're excited about it, right?
I like it. We got to squeeze one more in before we get out of town for a couple weeks.
We're going to be out of town for 2 weeks, so just know that. We're going to be updating other parts of our site, so you can check that out. But we're going to be taking a little leave of absence for 2 weeks.
So emails being answered might be a little slower, and unfortunately the shows are going to resume when we get back.
Yeah, at the end of January. And I feel bad because we took a couple weeks off due to my whooping cough, but now we're going to take another couple weeks off. So hopefully all you guys are doing great out there and you don't miss us. And
thanks for bearing with us.
Thanks for bearing with us. And thank you for listening to the show. This is episode number 194, right? Mm-hmm. Episode number 194 with Chris Kehler, energy medicine practitioner. This is going to be great. And for reference, today is January 8th.
Yep.
2014. I have 2013 on my show notes here. And Chris Kehler has been on episode number 95, excuse me, 124, 166, and now this is 194. And I have to say, I think I mentioned this during our last show, but of all of our listeners, or of all of our guests, I should say, Chris Kehler has caused, I think, the most stir.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Hands down.
The most, I wouldn't say controversy, but the most amount of people talking about his unique work. And that's why we're having him on a regular basis, right?
Right.
Yeah.
People, I get all kinds of emails with all kinds of results, all kinds of experiences. I mean, people are very fascinated by Mr. Kehler's work, and as we are, and we've had the opportunity to work with him, and our own journeys have been pretty exciting. It's such a new idea to me. Before last year, I hadn't even heard of it. So.
Yeah, it's a different way of looking at the body and life and things. And I've been working with him recently on my whooping cough, and it's been helping. So really, really interesting. And Chris Kehler, for those that you don't know, he's a holistic energy practitioner. He uses pendulum dowsing, sacred geometry, this crazy pyramid that he's got that's shaped all kind of crazy ways, and he uses sacred geometry to neutralize the stressors in certain areas of the body, and he's certified in quantum touch. He's a holistic healer. He does live blood cell analysis. He uses radionics, and he's the owner of Quantum Point Technologies, which makes the wristbands that people can sleep with, and he's got a wide variety of crazy, weird-looking products on his website, chriskehler.net. That's C-H-R-I-S, Kehler, K-E-H-L-E-R.net, chriskehler.net. And today he's joining us from Canada. So thanks so much, Chris, for being on the show again today. Really appreciate this.
No problem, kids. I love being on your show. You guys are fantastic, and you do such a professional job. There, I said something nice about you. You said so many nice things about me, so there you go.
We'll take it with your energy behind it.
Tit for tat. I love it. Hey, so last time I was working with you, I didn't mention this. You had Skype on, and you were working with me with whooping cough, and I noticed in the background, was that a rife machine or some sort of radionics machine in the background?
Yeah, the machine I have, it's a radionic device, and that's kind of how I got started in this whole energy realm, working with that. Radionics is the use of frequencies. Everything vibrates at its own frequency. Everything in the world, everything in front of us has its own vibrational rate. And with radionics, you're able to capture those vibrational rates and basically just vibrate bad vibrational rates out of the body as far as a health problem. Or you can also add vibrational rates to something like a wristband or a pendant or something like that. So when you wear it, it absorbs into your body, and your body takes on that vibrational rate and starts to work with it to make changes.
Yeah, it's interesting device. I've first heard about it from I was going to say Chris Kehler, no, but from David Wolf, probably about 6 or 7 years ago. These radionic machines, or the Rife technology and things, and we've used them with certain practitioners here locally, and they seem to get pretty good results with people, don't they?
Yeah, they can have their place for sure. They can be really touchy. You have to be very, very precise when you're using them. That's why I like using the tools a little bit more, because they work just straight off of your intent. With the radionic device, you're working with different types of energies, so they have to be very, very precise. I do get a good amount of success with it, but I do prefer the tools.
Interesting.
When did the tools come about? Like, what part of your journey did that kind of...
The tools, I'm going to say probably maybe about 4 years ago. I was introduced to the tools from the fellow who introduced me to the radionic device. So I've been kind of following his progress in his shadow a little bit. So that I was using the radionic device maybe three years before I got into the tools.
Okay.
Yeah, those tools, I have to say, are causing quite a stir. We've had a few people write in that they've either received them for... It's funny when you become, Justin and I always laugh when when you're into health and things, when you start wanting things like an energy ring for Christmas or your birthday. But a bunch of people have received them, and the people that have written in, I mean, we own the sun ring and the neutralization ring, and there's some power behind those, aren't there?
There's some definite power. If you use them right, you can definitely benefit in a lot of good ways with those tools. Those are the two basic starter tools. If you get into the triple pyramids, you're accessing a whole different realm of different types of energies to work with.
So, Chris, I'm looking at your Skype picture here, and I see that triple pyramid that you have, and that's the one that you use when we work with you. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the 5 pyramid.
Okay. And what are some...
Janice just wrote in the chat room. She says, why are pyramids so healing to the body?
Oh, yes.
The basics of a pyramid, the way the structure of a pyramid works at the basic level is that positive ions flow through it, and as it gets to the bottom of the pyramid, they become negative ions. So that's the basis of a general pyramid. So basically, you want negative ions within your body. It's going to reduce inflammation and help your body to function properly. With my pyramids, they're intended and built to enhance God energy. They're built to enhance photons and all the quantum energy that we use to do healing. So it works like a giant amplifier. And why the pyramid? Just because of its functionality with working with ions. So it's a really good fit for what I'm doing.
Wow.
And so I'm looking at the pyramid on that picture, and it looks like you have a bunch of these crystals on all the different sides of the pyramids. What are those doing?
Yeah, it's loaded with quartz crystals and magnets and different other sacred geometry symbols. And the quartz crystals, I mean, anybody who knows anything about the energy realm, crystals do contain a lot of different functional energies for doing different things. And a quartz crystal is a general healing crystal. It's going to encompass all different types of healing and for whatever your body needs. So that's why we use the quartz. Now, I am designing one that contains all shungite.
Ooh,
so that's going to add some different energies, go to a different realm of what's going on here.
So are you going to add shungite to the crystals in the pyramids, or are you going to replace the crystals with
I'm going to replace the crystals with shungite.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm looking at that picture, too, and it looks like the little capstone. Is that made out of shungite?
Yeah, the capstone is shungite.
Really? So you sent us a shungite necklace, which I'm wearing right now. I wear it all the time. I have no idea what it's doing. I hope it's doing some good. What is it doing?
Well, it's doing multiple things. The design of shungite, well, not the design, what it's does is it kind of works like a carbon atom, where it's absorbent. Okay. So the shungite is going to absorb negative energies, mostly EMFs and ELFs, and those are energies that are given off by appliances like your fridge and stove. Also, different kinds of EMFs from, let's say, power lines and power grids, that type of thing. It's also going to absorb different types of radiation. So right now, there's a lot of talk going on about what's happening at Fukushima. Okay, especially you people in California, you're the ones who are going to get hit first by what's going on there.
Yeah.
This is going to help to absorb a lot of the radiation that's coming off of that nuclear power plant. So when you use the neutralization ring with the pendant to clear it on a, let's say, weekly basis, you're going to absorb a lot of the radiation, a lot of the negative energies that come along with it, and then you clear it out with the neutralization ring. Then you keep wearing it so it keeps doing its optimal work. Shungite also, if you put it in your water, there's certain types of water crystals that you can buy. You put them in your water, it's going to add all the 98 different minerals that your body needs. It's going to absorb any kind of toxins out of the water, and it's going to add specific healing energies that you can actually program to do something specific for healing within your body. So, for instance, if you took, let's say, one of my Beamer wands or even a quartz crystal wand or something like that, held it up to a glass of water with shungite in it, and gave the intent to detoxify the mitochondria in my cells, or enhance my brain function, or something like that, remove inflammation, it will actually go in and start doing that. So the more you gave that intent to the water, the more it would go in and do healing. And for people who are very sensitive to energies, they'll actually feel something going on.
Isn't that great? So that's almost similar to what the Rife machine is doing. You're putting the shungite in the water, and then you're using the crystal wand and putting intention into the water. Then you drink that water. Is that kind of how it works?
Correct, yes.
Golly.
We have another chat question. It kind of cuts off here for some reason, but it says, how can Chris's energy work help with GMO food? And then it kind of dots out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we actually addressed that question on another show yesterday.
Nice.
What you can do with the pyramids and the neutralization ring working in tandem is, first you'd take your food, put it over the neutralization ring for a few seconds. Then you would take the pyramid and you would say, there's a few different words or intent that you can put into the pyramid to adjust the GMOs. So you could say words like neutralize and eliminate all GMO within this food. Okay.
Wow.
And hold it there for maybe 10, 20 seconds, and it would start to do that. You could say things like transmute all inorganic compounds to organic compounds within this food. And it would adjust the DNA of the food so that it's more absorbable into your body as a nutrient instead of a toxin.
So that's crazy that anyone can have that, quote, power. It's not this magic thing. Anyone can speak that and have that be the case.
Yeah, the power that we have is really unbelievable. Nelson Mandela said a quote, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are all powerful. Ultimately, as a human being, we have the potential to have the energy and power of a supernova. It is there. It's possible. It's just not awakened yet. There are things that are suppressing it. So the intent that we have is very, very powerful.
Wow.
You know what's interesting too with this whole intent thing, and if people don't have any of these tools and things, and this is kind of similar. It goes along the lines of the products that we sell as well, like the sauna, the rebounder. All these things are just like Chris said, they're tools to be better, but. The true power really lies in the intent, right? And the like praying over your food, or talking to your food, or talking to your body.
The belief in it.
I mean, that's where it really lies, isn't it?
It is.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's something to all this praying over food, for centuries.
Ultimately, when you're praying over your food, there's many, many different ways to bless your food. So that what you're doing is you're giving an intent to your food to absorb better into your body and to go in and do healing work and to benefit your body in a healthful way. Just many, many ways to do it. So you can use the energy tools, you can say a prayer, you can, there's many, many different ways to enhance the energy of your food to help it for your body.
Well, here's another interesting question that just came in the chat room. I find this interesting. How can someone become more energetically sensitive to some of this stuff?
Well, ultimately, by doing clearings. Okay, so within our bodies, there's all these different energy bodies, like the chakra system, the aura, our physical body. By clearing out things that are blocking the energies from being heightened within your body, that's the best way to do it. Eating really good, healthy food is a good start. By doing energy clearings, to make sure there's no poltergeists and aliens and different types of voodoos and black magic within you. What will certainly suppress a lot of these sensitivity to energy. As far as myself goes, I'm surprisingly not too sensitive to energies. I do feel certain things when I do work and I work with people. When I'm clearing houses of spirits, I definitely get that chill that up your spine that makes your hair stand up. I do definitely get that because I need to notice where they are. But ultimately, I'm not that incredibly sensitive to energies. If I do feel something, it's got to be pretty strong for me. So sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for. For people who want to be very sensitive to energies, all of a sudden, boom, you're sensitive, and it's way too sensitive, and everything affects you. Like if you walk under a power line, you can feel the buzzing or the energy coming off, and it could be disturbing at times. So you do want to be careful what you wish for.
So if people have had a lot of energy work and had a lot of clearings and things, it's kind of like the cleansing question. Justin and I are always like, has somebody ever done cleansing? Is that true in the case with clearings and things coming back to kind of get us again? I mean, are we ever going to be at a place where we're not going to be attacked by these things energetically?
Yeah, eventually that will happen. For the most part, things that are within our body, any kind of spiritual being or negative energy, has probably been there for lifetimes, and we're just carrying it with us every time we reincarnate. And generally, when I get rid of a problem out of somebody, it usually does not come back unless for some reason there's a source that you keep bringing it in, whether it's looking at a certain website or doing a certain type of practice of any kind that you're inviting things back in. Otherwise, generally, once it's gone, it's gone.
So it's interesting. It's kind of correlating with physical health, because with physical health, it's interesting because you want to really have this idea of being clean on the inside, so you can actually feel the damaging effects of eating ice cream or something like that. People think that when they start getting healthy, they feel worse because the toxic food they're eating, they can actually feel it, and so they wonder what's going on. But it's almost the opposite in this realm, I would imagine, right? Because you want to get you want to clear stuff out, but then you want to kind of be like how you are, right, Chris, where you're not affected by every energetic disturbance, because that would just
make you go crazy.
Yeah, make your life go crazy.
Of course. There's balance to everything. Now, the whole key to perfect health is perfect balance. And, whether it's, drinking alcohol, of course you don't want to overdrink. And if it's not that bad for you, if you have a drink once in a while, if you have a little bit of bad food, maybe you go through the fast food restaurant maybe once every 2 months or something, it's not going to be that bad for you. It's the balance that you really need to watch.
So going back a little bit to those tools, like Kate said, we have the sun ring and the energy ring or neutralization, and so going back to some of those, what are some more unique ways that you've seen people use those things?
Everybody who buys them and uses them tends to find a different way to use for themselves. The rings will basically talk to you on a certain level, and you'll all of a sudden get an idea. Hey, if I use the ring on this or for that, I might get a different result. And sure enough, when you follow that thought, you find that the ring is going to perform better for you or do what it needs to do for you. So I've had people put it over their shower heads, the sun ring and neutralization ring together, and the water is going to detoxify a little bit before it hits your body. People use it a lot for their food. People will sleep under it or over it, and some people might hang it over their bed. There's so many different ways to use this tool that you can't really give instructions with it, because there really is no instructions. It's use it for what you need to use it for.
What's interesting too is sorry, Kate.
No.
What would be really great is if those things were kind of miniaturized and made into necklaces.
I've addressed that with my tool maker. Ultimately, there's two basic sizes that you can make with these tools. If you make them a different size, it takes away from the sacred geometry properties of these tools. So they do have to be a specific size. With the pyramids, there's 3 different sizes you can make. One is 4-inch base. The ones I use are 7-inch base, and he also makes a 13-inch base, which is a pretty big pyramid. So the geometry, the size is very, very important with all of these tools.
It would be great to have those couple of those pyramids around your house, maybe sitting in your bedroom or something. Wouldn't that? It seems like that would be a good thing.
Yeah, what I normally suggest to people when they buy the triple pyramid off my site is to hang it over your bed. Take a long fishing leader, thumbtack it into the drywall in your ceiling, and just hang it over your bed and sleep under it. There's been a lot of studies done that if you took 2 tomatoes and put one under a pyramid and left one on itself, the one under the pyramid will stay ripened longer. It won't start to decay. So there's a lot of the negative ion component of the pyramid is actually keeping you alive longer. It's going to give you more youthful vitality, if you will, if you use it long enough.
Gosh, there's something about that shape, isn't there?
I went to sleep last night. I always, before going to bed, I crawl in, get warm, and then I take the neutralization ring and get that warm between my hands, and say my prayers for the evening, and then I put it on my stomach. And last night, I usually take it off as I start to drift off and put it on the table next to me. Well, I woke up this morning with a giant imprint, like a giant neutralization ring over my belly button. I just went to sleep, rolled over, and that thing stayed on all night.
That is hilarious.
I know, it's hilarious. But I do feel a difference when I am around it, and it calms me down, Chris. I've never slept better, which is strange.
It does so many different things at different levels. You can't really explain it or tell what it's doing. Now, when you're holding that ring between your hands and you're saying a prayer, what you're doing with that ring is you're clearing out your soul level.
Whoa.
And there's 4 different levels to the soul, and you're clearing negativity out of those levels. So it's helping on a lot of different ways. So basically, that's going to make you feel more peaceful. When you clear out the soul, you're going to have a lot more peace and harmony within your life.
How do we even know there's 4 levels of the soul? That's pretty deep.
There's lots of people who do the type of work I do, and they do the research, they work psychically, and they get information from higher spiritual beings like I do, and they get a lot of this information. If you want to know a lot more about how the universe works and how everything works around us in the cosmos, if you go on YouTube and you do a search on somebody named Ashiana Dean, you're going to get 6 hours of downloads that she has from her spiritual beings that describe at the quantum mechanic level how everything works. 99% of it is going to be way over your heads. It's way over my head, what she gets into, but it's a basic, realistic look, in layman's terms, almost as to how the universe works. So, a lot of stuff I get from her, from watching her videos and just taking things out of the video content, putting it in my charts. If the pendulum says to work on that, I work on that.
Wow, so it's right there on YouTube for anyone to become exposed to.
Yes.
Wow. Interesting.
Well, we got to take a little break here. When we come back, I want to talk to you, Chris, a little bit about antioxidants and nightshade plant toxins that you mentioned, and maybe a couple questions about my bacteria and my throat that we had with the whooping cough, all kinds of good stuff. And I also wanted to ask Chris, too, about, we got to get to this, too. Kate, remember when you were standing over the neutralization ring and your body twisted?
My torquing. Not my torquing.
Yes. Not your torquing.
My torquing.
Your torquing.
Yeah, we can ask Chris about that as well.
Okay, we'll got to talk to him about that. So if you're interested in Chris Kehler and his work, make sure to check out chriskehler.net, and that's CHRISKEHLER.net, and we'll be right back with Chris right after this break. Did you know that calcium is what eventually causes death to all mammals? Did you know that excess bad calcium can actually cause internal fibrosis, inflammation, and can over time shrink your internal organs, causing them not to work properly? Excess bad calcium has been related to heart disease, cancer, arthritis, heart attacks, strokes, digestive issues, cataracts, and just about every known disease. Best-selling author, researcher, and health motivator David Wolfe has put together an incredible program that Kate and I love. And it will teach you exactly how to rid your body of this excess calcium so you can have the kind of body you had when you were a young kid. Imagine being flexible, having 20/20 vision, no joint pain, tons of energy, and feeling like you can conquer the world. The Longevity Now program can help you do just that. It's really, really good. So, David, this calcium issue really is a big deal, isn't it?
It is a known thing in the natural healing profession, even in the medical profession. Let's say somebody gets on birth control pills. They have a very poor reaction to it. Their immune system malfunctions as a result of the hormone change in their body. All of a sudden, boom, they've got like rheumatoid arthritis. They're 25 years old. Immunological problem going on with a joint. So what is the connection between hormones, immune system, and calcification? And there is a very strong connection. It's been well noted in the literature since the beginning of time that age-related calcification, stress-related conditions, for example, arthritis, for example, coronary plaque formation, for example, kidney stones, gallstones, Alzheimer's, which in the old days was called brain sand. It's a calcification of the brain. Why do all these things have something in common, namely the formation of excess calcium in the body, and what can we do about it? And that is, as you know, a big focus of my research. And
like you said in your program, it is what eventually takes down all mammals, isn't it?
It is, yeah, exactly. But like, for example, let's say you had a tortoise. The tortoises can live 500 years, some of them. But what finally gets them? It's arthritis. Finally gets a tortoise. And that's the great undertaker of all the noble life forms. They eventually get calcified. I get into every nuance of that, what it means, what the new medicine of the future is going to look like. Why calcification? How is it even happening? Should we take calcium supplements when we're dealing with calcification? Which the answer is no. Do not take calcium supplements. They're going to accelerate the calcification. And we just cover it from every angle. So I think it's going to give people a really cool breath of fresh air as to where we're going with our longevity understanding. And, for example, arthritis does have something in common with cancer. They both have connected to an excess production of calcium in the tissues. It also has something to do with eczema and psoriasis, which when you scrape eczema and psoriasis off and you analyze it from a mineralogical perspective, it's excess calcium in the skin, lots of it, actually. It's like scale, right? It's calcium.
So it really does relate to everything. And does it also cause fibrosis and the shrinking of internal organs and things?
Yeah, it can cause hardening of the organs. It can cause damage to the organs. And we know that from the kidney stones and gallstones and even cataract. Like, what's a cataract in your eye? It's a formation of calcium in your eye. You know, you start to see it sometimes in elderly people. They start having a fog in the eye, in the iris, and then the pupil. Calcification, that's calcium again. This is not something I don't think we can have time to really break down right here, but I get into the understanding of what is calcium. You know, calcium is the end product of an alchemical lifting up from hydrogen all the way into solid matter mass, which is calcium, that's used as an exoskeleton or skeleton or fibrous material by vertebrate organisms and even invertebrate organisms that can form the structural part of your body. But then when you pass from this planet, it's left over as a residue on the planet.
If you're dealing with any kind of chronic long-term illness, or if you just want to turn back the clock many, many years, you really need to look into this Longevity Now program. It comes with tons of DVDs, audio programs, recipe courses, and a huge book with step-by-step daily protocols of exactly what to do to achieve massive results. To learn more about it, go to extremehealthradio.com/longevity, or you could check it out in our store as well. Again, that's extremehealthradio.com/longevity.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
So I feel bad for Kate here. She's now managing 2 chat rooms here. And
that's what I do.
It's what you do. But if you can, everybody, we're having some issues with the chat. The best thing to do is go to extremehealthradio.com/live and use the chat box that's on there. That way Kate can more easily manage both chat rooms as the shows are going. It's hard enough to manage one, isn't it, Kate?
Oh, gosh. I'm learning, though. This is good.
This is good. So
this is good.
Hopefully you guys are enjoying this interview here with Chris Kehler. If you have any questions about the Longevity Now program or any of the products that we mention, in our commercials and on our website. Make sure to ask me if you'd like, Justin at extremehealthradio.com, and love to help you out with any of those. And as the lady said, don't forget to follow us on Facebook too. We have lots of great stuff coming out on Facebook, and you can keep up to date with our show updates and past archived shows and our upcoming schedule and motivational, inspirational information on Facebook. So don't forget to follow us on there. And let's see, what did we want to talk about? Didn't we?
Well, here's a quick question for Chris, if that's okay.
Yeah, we had a question from the.
Yeah, and then we'll go into the other stuff we mentioned. But we got another question in the chat. What are they putting in TV and movies that are affecting us energetically? And I that's a two-part question, because I want to know too, how should we be protecting ourselves against things like that we put into our brains? And is that stuff really a problem?
Well, yes, of course it can be. Now, we can only really speculate what they're putting in subliminally into TV and radio and that type of thing. But there's different components. So just like in your body, there could be a spiritual component within the internet, within the TV. These spiritual beings love electronics. Okay, they love the heat off of them. They love the energy off of them. They use it to feed themselves almost. So for a lot of people, there could be a spiritual being within your computer, and when you go on the computer, that's now opening a doorway for that being to get in and out. That could cause some problems in its own right, be part of a health problem, a certain component. Subliminal advertising. I mean, who knows? Okay, there could be a flicker within the LED screens I've heard about that at a certain vibrational rate that can make changes within your body, that could make you docile, that could almost hypnotize you in certain ways. So is there proof? I mean, no. Only one way to find out: stop watching TV for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. We all speculate that there is, and if you speculate that there is, and there's a lot of educated people out there talking about it, then there's probably some kind of correlation with subliminal messaging and the media, entire media. Let's not just call it TV. Let's call it the entire media. Cell phones, computers, everything may have this type of energy.
Wow. Yeah,
it's really fascinating. I mean, someone could spend a whole lifetime studying all of that, and we had a really interesting thing that happened a long time ago when someone was on our show, Don and Carol Croft. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but they were talking off the air about. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but they were talking off the air about. I think it was off the air where they were mentioning that they actually have these chips inside of these flat screen TVs, these digital monitors that actually watch people. Have you heard about that?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all, but I'm not sure if that's really true, but gosh, it wouldn't surprise me in the least bit.
Some of us are probably...
Look what we just found out about the NSA and cell phones and the internet, what the United States government is doing, tracking people, and so nothing surprising anymore, is it?
No, not at all.
No, and plus, what's interesting too, I wonder if there's something going on there in terms of just on an energetic level. Let's say you have a computer screen or a digital flat screen TV monitor like that. I suspect that on an energetic level, if they're mass producing these things with chips inside them, even if the chips aren't doing anything, just the intent that they think that it would and they want to do this type of thing, there must be something energetically going on at a deeper level, much deeper level than even just that physical chip watching what you're doing.
Correct. We will never know for sure exactly what's going on or where the information is going to, who's using it, and who's using it for what. There are a couple things you can do to maybe stop this from happening. Put the neutralization ring in front of your TV. At the base of it or something, it could help to stop what's happening. A shungite pyramid in front of your TV would do the same thing. So there are some things you can do that if you feel that you're being watched or something is happening, if you put these items in front of your television, your monitor or whatever, it could cancel out those frequencies.
It's crazy. As I was listening to something recently, and I saw where the average person, if they live in a city, when they leave their house and go to work all day, the average person is on camera 300 times in one day.
Sure.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy cow.
Big Brother's watching.
Yeah. There are no secrets, are there?
Hey, real quick too, Janice wrote in, can Chris use his dowsing to find out what optimal products to take from the Extreme Health Radio store that one should be using? Are there specific tools that are meant for certain people?
Yeah, what I generally do is specifically for supplements. I'll see what supplement that person needs. I mean, we just heard about calcium, right? So is calcium going to be good for you? For some people, it might be. Mm-hmm. Most people are going to need either silica or magnesium for the absorption of calcium. So I can find out which one is best for anything. So all of the things on your radio show, we could see what would benefit a person most. Would it be product A or product B? You know, you want to make sure you get the absolute right thing.
Okay.
And so would someone be able to use dowsing or maybe the energy crystal wand for these types of things too? Or I guess just the wand.
Yeah, dowsing, you want to use some kind of muscle testing, dowsing, or some kind of alternative testing method to find out what product is best for you.
Okay.
You know what? Do you know how to do dowsing? We need to start doing this because you can do this when you go to the grocery store. You can test energetically if you're strong or weak, muscle testing with certain produce and things. How would one do that?
Well, probably the easiest and fastest way to get a better take on what's good for you in a grocery store is if you use the body pendulum method of muscle testing, where you just take a product, hold it to your heart, and just kind of stand straight up, let your body kind of loose. And if your body falls forward, that means your body wants it. If your body falls backwards, then it means, no, you don't want this product. It's going to cause some harm.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
probably the best way.
I have a couple of friends that are really into that, and they'll test their kids. People might think they're nuts, but there is a lot of validity to what they're doing.
It's a lot better than guessing.
Yeah, right?
It is, yeah, because intuitively your heart knows, right, at a deep level?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the nightshades you've been working with. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah, every day new things come to me intuitively at what to work on, what to find, what's causing a health problem within people. And lately I've been working with a doctor in Arkansas, Dr. David Foscue, and, talking about different things we find and things we use to help people with their health problems. And he mentioned the word nightshades. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden that word kind of ignited something in me. And then I remember back to a TV show my wife and I were watching called Once Upon a Time. I'm sure a lot of people watch it. And it's about old fairy tales, and they reenact them into real life and that type of thing. And I remember one show, Peter Pan was using nightshades to poison people. And that kind of stuck in my mind too. So when David's mentioned about nightshades, I went like, hey, wait a minute. That's kind of interesting. So I researched a little bit and started finding that nightshades, they do cause inflammation in the body. Now, I also found that they were very, very prevalent in things like food coloring, food preservatives and additives. So everybody is going to be taking on these types of plant toxins. Now, a nightshade, to be specific about it, is a toxin within the leaves of a plant, specifically potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and those types of vegetables. So the toxin is designed to keep insects away. Okay, so it's a natural occurring toxin, and we ingest it within a lot of our food, a lot of our store-bought foods. So the main component, what causes the inflammation, is called an alkaloid.
Okay.
So now when we take antioxidants, the nightshade alkaloid is going to cause oxidation within the body. When we take antioxidants like vitamin C and green teas and all these different types of antioxidant type foods, it helps to detoxify the body of these nightshade toxins. Okay, so I've been working a lot with that, and of course inflammation is a pain causer. So if you've got a lot of pain in your joints, your muscles, what I've been doing is working with nightshades, removing that plant toxin and alkaloid, and I can even get specific as to what alkaloid it is. There's about 6 different ones I have listed here, and by removing that, it does start to make a difference. Now, here is a case in point, and the only way I know that I'm right when I discover something is when you use it on somebody and they get a difference in their health issue. Okay, so here's a person I worked on with MS type symptoms. What I did with him first is I worked in the past life a little bit, connected a whole bunch of meridians in order for his nervous system to work properly. Removed some poltergeist, some voodoo. Then I started working on food colorings. All of a sudden, my pendulum said food coloring, and I went like, what? Food coloring? Researched a bit more and found the whole nightshade connection. So I removed food coloring from the nervous system, the leg muscles, the neural pathways in his brain. And right at that session, every time I moved something, I'd say, walk for me and tell me what you notice. And the sound in his voice was like, oh my God, I'm getting off the bed without grabbing onto something. Oh my God, I'm walking without my left foot dragging. And it did make a huge, huge difference in his progression. Now, we're still working on it, but that told me is that, yes, indeed, the food coloring and the whole nightshade component with the alkaloids is a very, very big deal. And as we get older, the more foods we consume, the more our bodies absorb it, and it builds up over time, and that creates the big problems.
So what's going on with the food coloring? These nightshade alkaloids are getting into like these yellow dye number 5s and things like that, or is that what's going on?
I really don't know the whole mindset behind nightshades within the food coloring. That's still something I haven't researched yet. I mean, are they purposely doing that? I don't think so. But for some reason, they're using these parts of the plants for the food coloring, for the preservatives. I have a client who's a bodybuilder, and he came in yesterday, and we started testing them. And the pendulum told me he needs to stop taking this specific protein powder because it's full of nightshades.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't that it?
Yeah.
So, question in the chat room: can your rings remove the alkaloids in the nightshades if you put your ring?
Yes, when you the pyramid specifically, if you know what to work on, that's why my system is a 2-part system. You have to dowse first to find out the area of the body to work on, what's causing the problem, and then you use the pyramids to use your intent to move out whatever it is you find. Okay,
gotcha.
So accuracy is very, very important. It's the whole way this works properly is when you're accurate with the pendulum. And I've been doing it, every day for the past 6 years. So I've gotten very, very tuned into it.
Sure.
So once you find the problem, then you just use your intent and the pyramid to move it out.
Gotcha. So in my case, it was interesting. I think last week when you were so kind to work with me, you found some nightshade stuff going on. How does it work? Like I thought, okay, you found the nightshades, you cleared them, started feeling better. Well, 2 days later, I wasn't thinking about it. I went out and ate a tomato. Like, is it something people with nightshade problems, are we supposed to completely steer away from nightshades, or is it something that I'm going to have to struggle with again because I actually put it back into my body, or how does that work?
Well, basically, when you have an abundance of something in your body and you ingest more of it, you're going to have more of a reaction. And that's the case with allergies, okay? If you got a lot of mold in your body and you go into an area where there's a lot of mold, you're going to have a very big reaction. If you have no mold in your body, you go into an area with mold, you're not going to have a big reaction. So if you're getting out all of the nightshades within your body and you ingest a tomato, don't worry about it. This is something that builds up over 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, okay? It's not going to happen overnight. So if you have a tomato, you're not going to die, Kate. Don't worry about it.
Those are always my questions after my work with you. I thought, oh gosh, you just cleared something. What am I doing now to bring it back on? It's like I wonder how sensitive we all are to, an extra thing that we just got cleared.
If you clear something and then you put it back.
Yeah, it's funny.
Ultimately, you don't want to hit your thumb with a hammer, let it heal, and hit your thumb with a hammer again.
Right.
If you know it's causing a problem within your body, then of course you want to do what you can to stay away from that type of toxin. And ultimately, you can't. You're going to be ingesting it no matter how hard you try. So ultimately, by just detoxing your body on a yearly basis, one way, shape, or form, using my work, doing a master cleanse, doing a sauna, doing whatever, to detox your body is what's going to be more beneficial for you.
Great.
We got to take a little break here. We're going to come back. I want to ask Chris about some of those toxins, those alkaloids. I think you said you had 6 of them, and I want to also find out what are the highest nightshade foods that are highest in nightshade. Or not nightshade, but highest in the alkaloids of the nightshade vegetables. So interesting stuff with Chris Kehler. Go to his website, chriskehler.net, and we'll be right back right after this break. The history of heat therapy dates back over 2,400 years, and it was Hippocrates who said, "Give me the power to produce fever, and I will cure all disease." This FDA-approved medical device called the Biomat is a mat that you can lay on, read on, sleep on, do yoga on, sit on, and it can be used on office chairs, massage tables, and the like to help the body heal itself. It's inlaid with 30 pounds of healing crystals using amethyst and a rare black tourmaline, producing negative ions in a healing electrical field. These healing crystals help to restore cellular health by replacing electrons to the atoms, as well as penetrating deep into the body by 4 to 6 inches. What can the Biomat do for you? It'll improve your skin, burns as many calories as if you went jogging for 30 minutes. It improves the immune system by up to 40% or more, reduces stress and fatigue, removes toxins, lowers cholesterol, relieves pain, revitalizes cellular metabolism. It improves cell channels to deliver nutrients and oxygen to every one of your cells. It activates over 3,000 enzymes. And even a Harvard medical study showed cancer cells die at over 42 degrees Celsius. It reduces stress hormones by up to 78%. It allows your body to produce heat shock proteins, which increases endorphins, NK cells, T cells, and lymphocytes. It's very, very low EMF, and it's got a 17-layer technology. Dr. Mark Serkis is the director of the International Medical Veritas Association. Explain to us more about these biomats.
These biomats are these far infrared mattresses. You lay on them, or you sleep on them, or both. You do very heavy treatments during the day, and at night you sleep at just a nice comfortable temperature. These biomats are like these love machines, comfort machines, and healing machines, because what they do is they just radiate out light, far infrared light, and you can radiate yourself all night long while you're sleeping when you're not doing anything else. And what happens is this light penetrates the body and turns to heat. And the first thing that happens when you bring your core body temperature up 1 degree is your immune system strength increases by 40-50%. They feel when you lay down on them, you guys know, you have one. So it's like the feeling is so good. It's like being in the cuddling with a lover, your wife or husband. It's just warmth and comfort.
How are you using biomats for patients in your clinics?
The cancer treatment using heat is very aggressive, meaning during the day, you sandwich yourself in between two of them, turn it on to high heat, and bake the cancer. The cancer will die before you will. No, this is, you can go to England and spend $20,000 and use microwave a cancer out of existence. These biomats basically do the same thing. Radiation therapy for cancer is really a solid idea. Unfortunately, oncologists use the wrong radiation. They use radiation that kills you. This biomat uses radiation that can save your life and make your life more comfortable, keep you warm in the cold, and help take care of your kids and all. The list doesn't end.
Yeah, because isn't there some sort of temperature at which cancer cells will start dying?
Right, and it's below the temperature that human cells will die.
So you really like this biomat far infrared technology, don't you?
But it's strengthened me. Well, now the kids are addicted to it. They fight on who's going to sleep on it at night. And it not only changed my life, but it changed my medical practice and my books. This is a great machine for anybody who lives in the cold during the winter. Instead of heating a big house, you just heat yourself. Bottom line, it brings good feelings. Just lay on this biomat, and it gives the strength back.
I can attest to that indeed. Kate and I love ours, and we think you will too. Learn more about these amazing biomats at extremehealthradio.com/biomat. Or you could check them out in our store as well. Again, that's extremehealthradio.com/biomat.
All free shows, all the time on Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join our community today. Sign up to our email list and instantly get our free gift to you, along with loads of inspirational content and cutting-edge tips to help change your life at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe.
So we're sitting here in the studio, And Maggie Brown is sitting on your lap. I think she knows we're leaving.
I think she does, actually.
She's exceptionally needy, isn't she?
She will knock it off my lap, and she's never done this for a whole show. The minute I go out to go to the bathroom or get a piece of fruit, and I come back, she's right back on my lap. I think she senses something.
She knows we're leaving.
Oh, Maggie.
So sad.
She senses the energy.
It's funny. I was listening to that interview with the Biomat and talking to Chris about his energy tools and the sun ring and the pyramid. Mm-hmm. And, on one level, it's important to know that these are all just tools. The Biomat, all the tools that Chris sells, these are just tools to help accelerate the healing process and things, But on the other level, I just love this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we have the sauna, the Biomat, we have these energy rings from Chris. I just can't get enough of these crazy, weird things.
I love it.
They're so much fun.
I know they are fun. they seem to be working for us. So
yeah, I love them.
That's why we're excited about them.
So, Chris, going back a little bit to the antioxidants and the alkaloids in some of those foods, what are the foods that are the highest in those alkaloids of the nightshade vegetables?
Probably potatoes and tomatoes are among the highest. That's what I've found so far. I'm still continuing my research on it. So those are probably the two ones that we probably eat most of. Mm-hmm. Everybody eats potatoes. That's a staple of your dinner. So I'm going to say potatoes probably.
Yeah, potatoes. Yeah, and tomatoes too. I mean, they're in just about everything. And so when you're consuming a lot of these foods that are really high in these alkaloids, you're saying they act as an oxidant in the body, and so they're almost neutralizing, the antioxidants that people are taking.
Yeah, they're building up, and then when you take antioxidants, it detoxes you. You know what? One of the biggest contributors of nightshades, plant toxins, is caffeine. Mm. Okay, so coffee is going to have its own amount within it too. So the old saying goes, everything in balance. Don't drink too much coffee. Just have a cup a day maybe, and that's all. Nothing else is going to affect you.
Isn't that interesting? I wonder if there's any issues with people doing coffee enemas.
Oh.
That's a different absorption level, I think.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Those things are very good for you. Kate can attest to that. We would have to check and see. Is a coffee enema best for you, or is using shungite water better for you for doing that type of process?
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Gosh, there's so much to all this, isn't there?
Yeah. So you've been doing a little bit of research on this. How long has it been since you've been kind of getting into the nightshade issues?
Probably a week.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So you've just been kind of studying this stuff, and you're finding with working with people that it is an issue.
It is, absolutely, no doubt. When I work with it, people come in with joint pains and muscle aches. You remove that out, and all of a sudden they do feel a big difference. There is definitely a correlation with it.
Is there any correlation also with oxalic acid? Because we have an interesting story with a friend of ours who has rheumatoid arthritis. And she kind of, has a very strict diet that she has to keep, and she cheated and went off her diet. And then what she did is she went to the health food store, and when she went there, she normally gets spinach in her juice. And when she got the spinach, she forgot that they put it in there in her juice, and she just said, "Oh, well, I've been kind of cheating a little bit this weekend anyway. I'm sure the spinach won't do anything." And the next day, her ankle were swollen.
Was like twice its size.
And I know that spinach is high in oxalic acid, but is spinach also on this list as well?
Not that I've seen. I mean, basically any types of greens like that aren't so bad. But one thing to consider about spinach, it has been noted to carry a lot of salmonella at times too.
Oh, that's right. We've heard that. Yeah. Interesting.
Chris, one quick question again in the chat room. This might be a loaded question, but how does Chris work to remove a curse?
Oh, curses are easy. First of all, you have to understand exactly what they are, okay?
Okay.
It could be just a negative thought. It could be somebody actually placing a voodoo-type black magic curse on you. Now, if you consider the work I do is white magic, there is also black magic, so you can use this type of energy for good or bad. Basically, what I do is I look and see where it is. I look at different contributors to the curse. So there's also going to be a poltergeist in your chakra system. There's going to be something in your aura, and there might be an area in your body connected to the seventh dimension, which is where black magic and curses take place.
Gotcha.
So all I do is say the words lift, delete, neutralize the curse, the spell, whatever it is, and then I return it back to the sender times 3. So they're going to get sick now 3 times of what is happening to you. So yeah, curses and spells are not that big of an issue at all.
Wow.
So, Chris, is there an issue with doing that, sending it back to the sender? Do you think, are some people sensitive to that and don't like that being done, do you think?
If people don't want it done, then I can just send it to the universe, let the angels take care of it. But you know what? Turnabout is fair play. If somebody isn't doing something nice to you, they can certainly have it back.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Wow. So what are some of the main things people have when they come to you? Are people coming to you mostly with physical issues or energetic, spiritual, or emotional issues?
Yeah, a lot of it is half and half, and quite often there is a spiritual, emotional issue that's a contributor to the health problem also. So you got to do clearing on all levels in order to really get to the problem of a health issue. So there could be an emotion involved, there could be a mental blockage involved, there could be a past lifetime involved with it, and you have to cut the cords to all these things, neutralize them, reconnect the body to this aura, to this part of the universe. It can be pretty intricate at times. Sometimes it's just a matter of snapping your fingers and saying a few words and the problem's gone.
Well, I have to say, from the first show we've done till this one, which is our 4th with you, we still get emails in every now and then saying that the energy they felt and that the healing they felt, they're very confused by listening to past shows and still having physical healings and things like that with mass healings. That's pretty wild concept, but it continues to work forever, doesn't it?
It does. It's going to stay in your body for as long as you need it.
Wow.
And keep on making changes, yeah.
So, Chris, I have to ask you, do you yourself do any meditation or prayer or any spiritual work yourself to be able to do the kind of work you do?
Well, when people say the word meditation, the first thing you think of is somebody sitting in the lotus position with touching their fingers together and going ooh kandura, and that type of meditation.
Yeah.
Everybody's meditation is different. My meditation is done with my pendulum, and I have a chart with letters A to Z on it, and I ask my guides for messages and information, and they give it to me. Okay. And I just, take heed to it, write it down, whatever I need to know from it, I take out of it. That's my form of meditation. I've tried the transcendental meditation where you sit and just open your mind. I can't do that. It's just not going to happen for me. But I find more solace out of the pendulum than anything else.
So what's your what is your motivation and your desire? I mean, it must be so such a great thing to be able to work with people and to be able to see results in people and talk with them. Is that kind of what drives you?
Oh, you have no idea how good it feels when you work on a 2-year-old boy with kidney failure and the mother is pulling her hair out thinking, what did I do wrong? And you do some work and all of a sudden the mother calls back and says, his protein levels are normal. Wow, what did you do? And you can hear it in their voice that they're just ecstatic because now their son, their child is got good health and they don't have to worry about doctor appointments every week, and they don't have to worry about pharmaceuticals. They don't have to worry about how long is the child going to live for. It is such a rush to be able to do that for somebody.
It's as you're saying that, it's interesting because I'm thinking about, the energetics that you must have. You could be a used car salesman. You could be working in an office. You could be a president of a company, doing something that you really dislike and, a soul-sucking job. And I think the fact that you're getting such a high working with people and helping people, I think that's raising your energetic frequencies as well, and I think if everyone did that, it would help their health,
That you have no idea. I get this rush every time I get out of bed to come into the office. I call it work, but it's really not work. It's coming in and like, okay, how am I going to help this person today? How am I going to help that person today? And I used to be in the printing trade, okay? For 30 years, I was printing. I enjoyed it. I loved it. But the atmosphere that the people you worked with are so negative, and it was always a cutthroat voodoo type situation almost. And I am so glad I'm out of there. I enjoyed it, but I'm so glad I'm out of there, and I'm doing what I'm doing now. I'm going to do this until the day I die.
I love
really
that.
live in your purpose, I believe. And I think it's a gift, Chris, to be honest. So just out of curiosity for today's show, was, if you're allowed to say, was there any kind of healing energy you put out there or are going to put out there for this show?
We are going to, yes, we're going to do a mass healing again, and I do this for everybody.
Okay.
Now, of course, I discover all these different types of energies to work with, different things to look for. What I'm going to run through the program today is an energy called the flame of the Swef. Okay. What the heck is a flame of the Swef? in the energy and universal realm, there's different things that you can use. Like there's the violet flame, there's a diamond flame. Different colors have different healing capacities. The flame of the Swef is a combination of the diamond flame and blue light. That creates another level of healing energy. Okay. So let's do that right now, shall we? Now, everybody, get ready to tingle a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let's take the flame of the Swef and run it through the entire broadcast into the archives, and let's do a mass healing with it for all who are listening. So let me know when anybody starts to tingle. Might take a second or so. Let's blast the flame of the Swef through the entire broadcast. Okay, I'm really feeling that on my end. Okay, that is done.
Wow.
So it might take a second or so, but generally 90% of the people are going to feel a tingle.
I feel a tingle in my right arm a little bit. That's really weird that it's in one area of my body.
It's not weird at all. Everybody's going to be different. People might feel it in their hands, their feet, their head.
Hey, Chris, you kind of cut out right there. I'm sorry. What did you say?
The healing may happen for people. It's not specific to everybody.
Wow, Chris, there's something that must have just happened with Skype because you are completely garbled here.
Oh, there you are.
It could have been energy.
Whoa.
Wow, that is crazy.
It's so the energy.
Yeah, you're completely almost inaudible. Let's see.
Very good. Okay, hold on a second. Try this. Let's clear it out.
Wow. Well, I wonder if that was what was going on.
Yeah, let's clear that. Whew.
Yeah, that was really strange.
Okay, so I'm going to slide it from the back.
Wow.
Let me clear it up. That'll help a little bit. So the is not the most reliable way to kind of talking.
Wow. Chris, can we try to call you right back? Because I think you may have messed up the entire internet, maybe. Let's try to call you right back, okay?
Right back.
Give me a call back.
Okay, bye. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, I think we're still recording, we're still live, but...
We still are, and when we get Chris back here, I have to read something, and that's happening in the chat room right now. It's pretty wild.
That is just crazy. I think maybe he jinxed, or not, he didn't jinx himself, but...
Maybe well, I have to, let's get him back on, because I want to tell him what happened in the...
Let's give him another call right now. Wow, I wonder what that was all about. That was really strange.
There we go.
Oh, my gosh.
Chris, what was that? That was just amazing.
Sorry.
I'm sure you have this effect. You kind of walk around and, phone lines go down, power goes down.
Chris, you probably want to know what's going on in this chat room right now. Janice writes in, when you said that you were going to be doing the healing, she says, cool, I want to feel it. I have arthritis. Second, she wrote in capital, holy, what the question mark, my ankle is tingling. And then we have another one that says capital, OMG, I can stand on my ankle.
Look at that.
Wow.
What?
Praise God.
Praise God. That's crazy.
Wow. Amazing.
So thank you for that, apparently.
Yeah. Golly. Thanks, Chris.
Oh, not a problem.
So now you have...
you make it sound so easy.
You're going to be seeing patients for the rest of the day?
Yeah, I've got a full day booked until for another 7 hours. Tomorrow's a 10-hour day. I got a 12-hour day on Friday, and I get to take the weekend off.
Ah, there you go.
Good for you.
So as we're wrapping up the show, is there anything new that you're working on? I know you mentioned something new to me when we were working personally together, but is there anything new that you're working on?
Just working on the nightshades is a very big thing, and I'm trying to incorporate it to different areas of the body. Just working on the nightshades is a very big thing, and I'm trying to incorporate it to different areas of the body. Just working on the nightshades is a very big thing, and I'm trying to incorporate it to different areas of the body. Just working on the nightshades is a very big thing, and I'm trying to incorporate it to different areas of the body. Just working on the nightshades is a very big thing, and I'm trying to incorporate it to different areas of the body. just basically trying to find new energies to work with different colors and different flames and that type of thing. Trying to get the fifth dimension operational. I think we're at level 3 of the fifth dimension right now. We need to get to level 7. So a lot of clearing I'm doing globally and universally for that with different people. So there's lots going on in their own little rooms that need to be cleared out. There's a new product I got. It's called KFI, Crystalline Fuel Initiator, and you put this in your gas tank. Okay, it's from the same fellow who makes my tools, and it's structured ethanol. So when you put 3 eyedroppers full of this in your gas tank, your fuel is going to burn at 100% efficiency. So now, no more emissions.
What?
So
it's an amazing product. Wow. Now, when you take 2 bottles of this stuff, hold one in each hand, what it does on an energy level with your body is it downloads a new human template into your aura, so that your structure of your physicality is going to change a little bit at the DNA level when you hold this stuff.
Jiminy Christmas.
So how do we? What's the next step in that?
Is that going to be available on your website?
Yeah, it's going to be on my website. It is something that's developed. You're also going to save some fuel economy on it too. So you're going to probably get 6 to 15% better fuel economy because the gas is burning more efficiently. This stuff is ready to roll off the line. We're looking for different fuel companies and different buyers to look at taking it on. Of course, they have to test it and be sure that it's doing what we say it's doing. But if you want to buy it on your own, it's about $20 a bottle, and it treats 600 liters of fuel.
Wow. So how long would that last a person, do you think? I guess it depends on how
long. A bottle might last you, a good month.
Okay, yeah.
Depending on how much you drive, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
So you being in California, you have to get your emissions tested all the time.
That's true.
This would show you if it's working or not when you get your emissions tested.
Wow, that would be a great thing. That's excellent.
Yeah, especially us little Californians, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, Chris.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, and I'm glad you brought the internet back up there. That was good.
Not a problem.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for your time and for working with us and for all that you do.
Wonderful. You guys have a good holiday. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
You too. Bye-bye.
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 Whoa.
Wow. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Janice still can't get over what happened with her. She keeps writing. I love it.
Really?
She said, thanks for bringing Chris on the show, but she's interested in Chris's work, and she's apparently had a really big healing just in the last few minutes, so that's super exciting. And wants to know, her question too was that I felt bad that we couldn't ask Chris because I knew he had to go, but she asked, how long do you think this will last for?
What does she mean, this?
Her healing in her ankle right now. She said, this is so fast, too cool, I can't believe it. How long do you think it'll last?
Oh, yeah.
And from my experience, Janice, all I can say right now is I've had things completely that he's done that have gone away and never returned, and then I've had a few things that I've had to work through a few times. But I do know the more I have delved into that journey of the energy work, it has made a large difference in my health. And
I suspect too that with his work, and if you're doing something that's, I don't know. Do you think you know how people will say, if you pray, and God blesses you with $1 million, it's no different than getting $10. It's all just energy. It's all the same. It's not any harder for God to do one thing versus another because everything's easy. I wonder if that's the case with energetic work. If more work needs to be done with someone who has stage 4 cancer, or if there could be almost like a spontaneous remission, because everything is energetics, and it doesn't really take a lot to work with specific,
right?
Harder.
A miracle's a miracle. It's not, there's not a level of hardness with it.
Yeah, I wonder. I should have asked him that.
That's true. Well, apparently we're asking already to have him back on the show.
Right,
so he does cause quite a stir. I feel like the couple emails that specifically stand out, because there's been so many of people that have had healings listening to his show. The one was the tinnitus in the ear that I think the woman had for 10 years or something. It was healed and completely never came back, and that was just from listening to an archive of an older show.
Wow.
So, all kinds of things are happening. Who's not to say that?
I remember that.
Like you said, God, a miracle is a miracle. God can do anything. Nothing's too hard. Nothing's too easy. So I find this stuff very fascinating.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on. I think that You know, it's cool. He was talking about the pyramids and the negative ions. That was interesting.
That was interesting.
Yeah, because our sauna and our biomat does the same thing, but I'm sure with the shape of the pyramid, it must do something. I mean, that shape, there's something to that.
Absolutely.
The shape of that pyramid. I mean, there's a reason why there's these pyramids all over the world. I mean, they're all the same shape.
Right. Right. And Janice actually brought that up at the beginning of the show in the chat room. She says, and thank you, Janice, so much for your questions to Chris, because I know that a lot of people have the same exact questions. But yeah, she brought up the fact that, those pyramids are all over the world. They're not just in Egypt. And I told her, gosh, we've been listening to documentaries ourselves. And I mean, I never thought twice about the pyramid thing until I've really kind of opened this can of worms. And now I can't believe that the normal average person doesn't know. First of all, we don't really think much about the pyramids in Egypt at all. But then the fact that they're all over the world on different ley lines, there's something going on with these structures. And you just talk to the average person and they don't know that. I mean, I'm just starting to learn this stuff.
You know, what's crazy is the average person, I don't think they even know that there's other places that there are pyramids.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was just saying. Like, who's to know that until
pyramids in Mexico and all over the world. I want to get Chris's, I want to pick up his pyramid,
Hanging over our bed. People think we're nuts.
Yeah.
There's something to it, though.
I know.
I want a pyramid for sure.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that picture with him on Skype on the thing, he's got all those crystals on there. And,
there's some YouTube videos you can find.
Oh, that's right.
Of him doing things with that as well.
That's right.
It's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
I think that, working with Chris and working with your emotional and energetic healings, I don't know. I think that if you were to work with him, it would behoove you to do some work yourself as well before and do some. So don't go in blind, I guess is what I'm saying, and don't go in, I guess, with a closed mind and closed heart, because if you take into your own account the placebo effect that can happen with you, and you start believing it and you start knowing it's true, I mean, I'm sure it's going to enhance his work, more.
I do believe that. I've asked him the question. I think we've even asked him on the last few shows about what do you do with the non-believers? Does it work for them or does it not?
Oh, that's right.
And usually he says, yes, energy work is energy work. It does help to believe in it, but the people who are total naysayers or non-believers, he said they'll experience usually some sort of healing, and yet they disregard it and think there's always, that's a coincidence, or it's because of that. They don't believe in the actual energy itself. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Well, Chris Kehler is certainly one of the most unique individuals that we've had on our show. I don't know that there's anybody else doing the specific type of energy work. I know we've had on lots of different people, like Dr. Gilbert Renaud and Dr. Peter DeWitt, doing some great work with recall healing. And I think there's something to all of it, actually. I think that working with these people, people like Chris, people like the Dr. Gilbert Renaud and Peter DeWitt, I think that this kind of stuff really does originate in the energetic, the frequency level, the emotional level, and who knows how far back it goes. But I think that
absolutely,
I think that's really where the whole thing is. I mean, we talked to Dr. Group, and he was saying the same thing yesterday. Yes. Whether you're an MD or
an energetic healer, there's such a commonality between the merging of these. I'm realizing that we're not separate in any of it. It's all combined. It all melds together. The emotional, I think that's physical is just so intertwined.
I think that's the core of health issues and health problems. And it's funny because we're talking with Dr. Group, and he was talking about how he does 2 or 3 hours of meditation every day. And
I know.
At one point in the show, I said, it's interesting with all this disease that people have. I think the real root cause is just blocked energy, emotion, trapped emotions, and this energetic blockages and things. And on an energetic level, I think that's where it all starts. And he's a guy that has the Global Healing Center. He sells supplements. I mean, so does Chris. He sells supplements and sells products and cleanses and all this type of stuff. And here he is saying, hey, it's all energy.
I know.
I mean, that's not good business.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it is not, but yes.
That's not good business, but it's true. And I think why else would he get up at 3:30 in the morning?
Right.
And do 2.5 hours of meditation?
Right.
Crazy.
Clearly the man knows a thing or two.
Yeah. And, I find Chris interesting too, because I would think that he would need to do tons of meditation or tons of clearing or spiritual work. But like he said, he doesn't get affected by stuff. Because I'm sure there's people out there that don't like him,
Well, I think that was shown today with our our interview being garbled and
what was
tried
that?
to shut down. Gosh, we had our line cut the first. I think it was the second show with Chris. Maybe episode 124. We completely lost him. Do you remember that?
I do.
It was like the line was cut. I laugh.
It was almost like he did that to himself or something. What was the adverse effect of his own thing?
Well, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, believe what you want, but the energies that be want to stop things that are healing and good and just pure. So
yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it?
That was interesting.
And to give him a call back. Wow. So this is episode. If you have any questions about this episode, comments or anything like that, you can always go to extremehealthradio.com/194 and post your comments on that page as well. And we can talk more about what Chris does and how some of these have been affecting you and all that. And you can we'll have the transcript up too. You can check out the transcript and all the show notes on episode number 194. And also, don't forget to check out our chat room, too, during the live shows. That's always available, and you can listen live and chat and ask questions. And then on our Free For All Friday shows, when we get back, we're going to be taking live calls through the phone line.
Yes, it's going to be great. Interact with people on a whole other level. And thanks for being part of our community, you guys. It's just a kick.
Yeah, we're doing some stuff behind the scenes that we're going to launch in a couple weeks. And so it's going to be really great. So we're excited about that. And so we're going to be taking off for 2 weeks, right?
Going to miss everybody.
I know, right?
Yeah, we're going to go have some time off, much needed rest and relaxation, and we will be back. But we really will miss doing the show, but we feel like we're going to come back energized and with new motivation and insight into where we want to go for 2014. So
we've got lots of plans.
A lot of plans going on. I don't even know where to grab onto. So I think the couple weeks are going to be great for clarity.
It's going to be good. We need to do our own clearing, don't we?
We do need our own clearing. Completely.
So thanks everybody for joining us. And if you guys could do us a favor, if you've enjoyed the show and you like what we're doing, there's always our store. We've got tons of great products in our store, extremehealthradio.com/store. Oddly enough, you can check out all of our products in there. And we're going to be adding to that too. We got some really unique, eclectic, off-the-wall products that are kind of aggregated and put in one space for you guys. Really, really great stuff. So we're going to be adding more products to our store. And if you'd like to donate to our work, one of the ways that we pay all the bills around here and keep the show free, what is it, 195 shows for free?
I know. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we don't want to charge anything per month. So if you guys have a few extra dollars and you want to send us $5 or $10 on a regular monthly basis, or just a one-time thing, if you have a few extra dollars burning a hole in your pocket, we would be so grateful and so appreciative and humbled if you would see fit to do that. But if you can't do any of that, no problem at all. Another great thing to do to support us is to share our show on Facebook and Twitter, and share it with your friends and pass it on to your family if you think they might like these shows. So just pick out any one of your shows and put it as a status update on your Facebook. That would be a great help. That's a free way to help us, and be very, very beneficial and useful. So.
Yes, we appreciate everything you guys are doing for us, and it's because of you this whole thing is possible. So we are grateful, beyond grateful.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. And if there's ever anything we can do for you, please let us know, and we'll catch you on the next episode in a couple weeks.
Thank you for listening to this episode. It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show. Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health. Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even as you educate yourself in the field of live food nutrition and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers or listeners medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog and during this podcast is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any of the information on this podcast or in this blog, or to start any health program without first consulting a health professional. The content found here is for informational purposes only and is in no way intended as medical advice, as a substitute for medical counseling, or as a treatment or cure for any disease or health condition, and nor should it be construed as such. Always work with a qualified health practitioner or professional before making any changes to your diet, prescription drug use, lifestyle, or exercise activities. The information is provided as is, and the reader or listener assumes all risks from the use, non-use, or misuse of this information.